Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I had not planned on making this video. If you watched my last video, just downloaded just now at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. And let me talk about that really quick first. I had my doubts about downloading that video. Everything I said was honest, but I got so personal, especially about things that my life and things that the girls, the women I've dated, and my preferences. I watched it a few times, and my point was about body image. That body image, it really isn't everything. That what the media sells you about the perfect woman really is just bull. It really is. So, anyway, putting that aside. This is not the all Bam Margera all the time channel. It's not. I know I've said that before, but I came across this new video. There's been a back and forth between Steve-O and Bam Margera all week. And I just found this is a fresh video, just hit TMZ in the last hour this morning, Sunday morning. And I know a lot of you, I know there's another Bam channel out there that a lot of their, I saw a lot of the other channel's viewers watch my channel. So why not talk about it? I watched this video about 10 times already this morning, and I asked myself this question. If this wasn't a movie star, if this wasn't a star, if this wasn't, somebody famous, somebody I did these videos on, if this was just four random guys in their 40s, what would be my opinion? What would be my thoughts on the person speaking? And that's why I'm making this video. All right, let me fill you in. There's been this back and forth between Bam Margera and Steve-O. It started with the rap video. Bam's new, or compilation, whatever you want to call it, with these two rappers in LA. And he put down Steve-O's skateboarding skills. These guys are in their 40s. You really think you really think they would have grown out of this by now? Not skateboarding, but arguing about who's a better skateboarding. Not the actual skateboarding, but this juvenile arguing back and forth. And then Steve-O showed a video with him and Tony Hawk, which I thought was, I'm no expert on skateboarding, but it looked really good. Okay, so now Bam just put out this video, and it's right down below. And I'm not gonna address his talk about skateboarding or Steve-O at all. I'm just looking at the people and the situation, and the hand and mouth movements of Bam Margera. First thing that came to mind is he claims that the biggest thing, he wants to get clean and sober, but he especially wants to see his son. He wants visitation with his son. And I haven't done this, like me and three of my buddies sitting in a car. I honestly haven't done this in I'd say seriously, almost 40 years. I haven't, probably since I was about 18. 19, no, maybe 20. I visited my friend at Syracuse University, and I got in an accident with my 73 Firebird, but that's a whole nother story. These guys, Bam's 43 years old, and he's riding around with his buddies. And look at his buddies, and they're a motley crew, to say the least. I look at the way they're sitting in the car. I had to figure out whose legs were whose. The passenger seat has his legs across the console, up on the steering wheel, and it looks like I'd have to say that my impression would be that either these are 14-year-old kids trying to look cool, or it's guys in their 40s that are high. That's my first impression. If he's trying to get visitation with his child, this doesn't show a responsible father. That's my first impression. I'm not a father. I've never had kids, and you guys could nail me on that. But what's your opinion of that? I look at, let's see, what to start with here. Back when I used to use, if you've never used, if you were fortunate enough to never have gotten involved with cocaine, crack, or methamphetamine, then I'll have to fill you in. When you use those drugs, especially in excess, you start to lose control of your muscles. Your muscles start to contract and move without you having control over them. People would make fun called lockjaw and other stuff. Your jaw, when you're using these stimulants, your jaw tends to go from side to side like that. And you have a hard time pronouncing your words. Also, I remember this too. I remember when I used a real lot of crack cocaine, my fingers would just would do this. They would actually, like a Charlie horse, they would actually seize up. And I'd go, you almost look, I'm not making fun here, but you almost look like you have epilepsy, or not epilepsy, or some other disease. It looks like you're having a seizure almost. And I watched this video, and I rewatched it a couple times. Like I said, I'm not doing this to slam on Bam Margera, but it's my honest impression. Like I said, if this was just 4 random guys, I would still have the same impression. And I had to watch it over and over again, but he says with his S's, he was slurring it like sure, like that. And I know he didn't, in other videos, he didn't do that. If you watch it several times, you'll see he's slurring his words. And another thing I noticed with his hands, not just, God knows I do a lot of hand movements, and I'm certainly not sitting here high. I've had a big mug of coffee, but it's not his hand movements. You watch his fingers. Like I said, you get these contractions. I remember my fingers almost locking up like this, and I had to start like stretching them when I was back when I would be up all night using these drugs. And that's what this reminds me of. If you watch this video, he puts his his hands are all over the place, and his fingers seem to be doing that. Not to mention the way he's dressed. I remember especially with cocaine and crack. I remember putting on clothes and going out in public, wearing things that I can't think of any specifics, and I probably wouldn't even want to mention them if I could remember. As a matter of fact, I can't remember, and I don't want to. They were cut off shorts and just some other stuff. And you have a really inflated ego. You think you look good in anything and everything, and people will love what you're wearing. It's this inflated ego you get with stimulants, and I can't help but think that's the situation here with all these rings and the head wrap. And what about wearing sunglasses at night? I know he's a big movie star and he's got tattoos and rings, and movie stars or famous people wear sunglasses at night. But if I just looked at this, and like I said, if it was just 4 random guys and I knew that they were in their 40s, well, at least Bam is, without a doubt, I would think these people are using. And I say this in the hope that Bam Margera gets the help that he needs. I just did a video, and I don't know if this is filmed. That's another good point. I just did a video, and the judge required him to stay in a 5-county area around Philadelphia for the time being. So I don't know where this was filmed, like Castle Bam. I don't know if his buddies flew out here. It looks, my first guess would be it's in LA, but it could be in the same area. I would say that he's barely following the judge's orders. One other thing, there's another video down below. I hadn't seen this video yet. It's a Steve-O video. I think it's a little older, and he talks about drinking and Bam. And I can't help but like Steve. He's got the same clean and sober mindset I do. And he had this really cool saying about somebody who drinks that makes up excuses to drink. Like that was a thing back when I was going, a lot of times when I would go to meetings, they would say, back when I used to use, I'd drink, or I'd use when I was happy, I'd use when I was sad, I would use because it was Monday, I would use because it was Sunday. I would, any excuse. And Steve-O talks about, I never heard this saying before. Steve-O says about like a person that says he went out and drank because he had a headache. And, that's like a person that has a headache and hits themselves in the head with a hammer. It's instead of having one problem, now you have 2 problems. And I could definitely identify, I don't know if I got that completely right. The link will be down below, but it's a great, Steve-O sounds like a sober person in his 40s. Looks and sounds like that's somebody that's clean and sober. Bam Margera, not so much. And not somebody that is probably going to see their son anytime soon. You know, if he really wants to see his son, he's got to stop shooting himself in the foot. It's just, if you watch this video and watch him slur his words and his finger motions, I mean, without a doubt, I would say he's high in this video. But that's just my opinion. All right, let me know what you guys think. And recovery is possible. Have a good Sunday.